it's Kimber and welcome back to my channel. Right now I'm heading back from work and I just got groceries at Aeon. And for a lack of better things to show you guys today, I'm going to show you what grocery shopping is like here in Japan, and also some of the things that I get on the regular and about the average amount it costs for me to go grocery shopping here in Japan. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Here are grocery stores here in Japan. First, I want to talk about buying bread in Japan. So, each loaf of bread can be separated into different slices, either as high as 8 slices or as low as 4 slices. Each loaf is the same price because the bread is the same size. It's just dependent on how many slices you want your bread cut into. And you've probably noticed, but the bread section in Japan is very small. And when it comes to wheat breads and whole grains, it gets even smaller and more expensive. The situation is completely different though when it comes to milk in Japan. Here is a bunch of different regular milk as well as alternatives, such as soy milk. You can also find different flavors of soy milk. And you are able to find almond milk. It's just a tad bit more expensive. And if you really want, they also have oat milk, which is probably the most expensive milk when it comes to purchasing milk in Japan. There's so many different kinds of milk you can get in Japan. Coffee milk, strawberry milk, banana milk, matcha milk. I usually just get regular flavor, and this one I'm getting is half the calories. Next is sushi, my favorite thing about shopping in the grocery stores in Japan. Sushi in the grocery store in Japan is always fresh and very low price. Next door to the sushi is the seafood section. You can also find great cuts of fish for a very good price. I usually buy fish once a week and I don't think I spend too much money. I usually get this salmon and today it's 20% off, so I get 2 decent sized pieces of salmon for the low price of around $5 USD. Next is the meat department. I would say for the most part it's similar to the meat departments back at home. I think the only difference is the portions of meat tend to be a little smaller and the packaging of meat also tends to be on the smaller side. This is the biggest package of meat you can buy that I've seen, but I usually opt for something smaller anyways because I'm cooking meals for one. Next is the egg section. I can't remember the egg section very well in my home country, but I thought it was interesting. You can get boiled eggs, you can get raw eggs in packs of 4, I think as small as packs of 2. I usually get a dozen eggs because I eat quite a few, but there's so many different kinds of eggs you can buy and they're all really decently priced. Okay, now let's talk about fruit in Japan. As you can see, it can get pretty pricey when buying fruit in Japan. You really need to know where is the best place to buy your fruit and when it's in season. Otherwise, you will be spending a lot of money on fruit. This container here of grapes, a very small one, is 2,500 yen. I'd say that's around 25 USD. And this small container of grapes is upward of 4,000 yen, which I'd say is equivalent to about 40 USD. Melons have just come into season, and depending on which ones you buy, they can also be very expensive. These melons here, about 20 USD. These ones up here, about 30 USD. I'm not really sure what the difference is. And this melon here at a whopping 68 USD. And it's the same for watermelon here in Japan. Pretty small, but big price. Luckily, bananas are still cheap. One thing that's never made sense to me about grocery shopping in Japan is the amount of packaging they use for things that don't need packaging. It's actually kind of funny because you're encouraged to bring your own grocery shopping bag to the market, and if you forget one, you will have to purchase plastic. It's supposed to encourage less use of plastic. However, all the plastic is still being used on products inside the store for no apparent reason. And if you didn't think that that was a lot of packaging, check out the mayonnaise and the ketchup. Even though both are already pre-packaged in a bottle of their own, they are also, for some reason, wrapped in a plastic bag. Just like the rest of the world, you can also find cup of noodles and instant yakisoba in the aisles in the grocery stores in Japan. But if you're looking for something easy but also home cooked, there's also these really good packages of yakisoba and ramen. They're super simple to make: packet of sauce, packet of noodles, boil the noodles, and you have a home cooked meal. Next, I'm not really sure what I would call or classify this aisle, but this is where I usually get my tea and my coffee. And I've never seen such a large selection of instant coffee in my entire life. It's amazing. There's so many different brands, and of course, there's also Starbucks, because you just can't go without Starbucks. Next door is Granola and Cereal. As you can see, there's a very small selection for cereal and an even smaller selection for American cereal. The only one they have that I know is Frosted Flakes, so even though it's expensive, I always make it a point to get some Frosted Flakes. Peanut butter in Japan is also interesting. All that you see in front of you is all that there really is for peanut butter, whereas back at home we have so many different kinds of peanut butter brands and also natural made, whereas this is basically it. Next is the snack aisle, and if you're a chip fan, I'd recommend you skip over this section, otherwise you'll learn the hard truth about buying chips in Japan. But the sad reality is that all of the bags are very small and mostly filled with air. They're like the size of my hand, and they're very cheap and for good reason. I'd say each bag is probably 2 American serving sizes worth. They're just so tiny and snack size. The drink section is definitely my second favorite spot in the grocery store. There's so many different things and always something new that I want to try. This section is just so nice. It's hard for me to walk by without picking something up. And the alcohol section, I don't drink often, but I do find this section to be very interesting. Look at the way some of the alcohol is packaged and the amount you can buy in one sitting. Every time I come to this section, I feel the need to pick one up and pretend to drink it. I also think it's fun to go shopping for alcohol in Japan because there is such a large variety of different flavored alcoholic beverages you can find in this store. And it's just so colorful. It's like a candy shop, but for alcohol. And now that I've finished shopping, all that's left to do is purchase my groceries. For all these groceries, my total came out to $30.41, which is like 30 USD. I think that's a pretty good price, honestly, and now all that's left to do is to bag up my groceries and head out.